And joined as we are every month by Mizzou's Director of Athletics, Mr. Jim Sterk, as we chat here in the summertime. And you know, looking back on the year that we just finished up a couple of months ago, since the last time we spoke, the Learfield Cup standings, final standings for 17-18 came out, and one of the best finishes ever for Mizzou. And how have you seen this athletic department build and work together to create, you know, a top 35 department, top to bottom, that's just strong across the board?
Well, it's nice to repeat. Tying last year's record was really good, and with 17 of our 20 sports going postseason, it shows a strong overall program, and not all of those were the same as the year before. But I think for this year, this past year, to have football, men's, women's basketball, your higher profile sports go to postseason for the first time in a long time all together, it really creates good momentum for the entire department, and we plan to use that as a springboard to continue to move forward. And our goal is to be top 25 and for each of our programs, and so that would score us in that top 25 overall. And I think we can overachieve from where our budget is. We need to continue to grow and be competitive in the SEC in every sport, and I'm excited about that challenge, but I'm really excited about our future as well.
And the Yahoo Sports annual rankings of Power 5 athletic departments, Mizzou was ranked about the same place. So it's not just the Learfield Cup recognizing the good overall health of Mizzou athletics, but you mentioned the Southeastern Conference a little bit there, and how does the SEC, we've seen it for 6 years now, I mean, this league really pushes everybody to be good across the board, doesn't it?
Yeah, you'll see, well, with all the softball programs going to postseason, or majority 10 out of the 14 baseball, or whatever number it is, it's strong across the board, and usually winning a national title is one of the opportunities you have as an SEC school. So for us, I think to be competitive across the board, it's a challenge where some may have twice the budget of our program, but I think we can do things strategically and smart, and invest in the people and the facilities, and then continue it to grow with the help of our friends and alumni.
You just mentioned budget, and let's get into that a little bit. What does the department look like fiscally right now? What is the budget situation currently?
Well, as I joked when we had a little media day, and I said, we're not in the poorhouse. We're a top 35 budget overall nationally, and so and it's closing in on $100 million a year. The challenge is we're competing against schools that have a $200 million budget, and so what we need to do is grow our annual support and ticket sales, season ticket sales in all our sports, continue to grow that support and with outreach. But overall, the number that was reported, I think it was 4.5, and I kind of asked them, where'd you get that? And it was from the 16-17 fiscal year that we had, and so that was the year I came in, and I knew going in we were going to have, and it was a projected deficit of about $2.5 million. With the protests, didn't have a good basketball season, so both of those were significantly down, and that impacted that budget, and then had a basketball coaching turnover. By this past year that just finished our June 30th, we cut that in half, and then I expect with being fiscally sound and prudent that we can balance our budget this coming year by increasing revenues, investing in the areas that we need to do to continue to build and be stronger, and then but being prudent in our expenditures as well.
You mentioned the success that's bounced back in men's basketball. We've also seen it in softball. You've got a new leader of that program since the last time we spoke, and just give me an idea of what impressed you about Larissa Anderson, made you want to bring her into the Mizzou Athletics family.
First, reputation nationally, that she's at a high level as far as respect as nationally among her peers, and holds positions. I think she's kind of the president in line to be the president of the National Softball Coaches Association. I think you don't get that unless you have the respect of your peers. I think she's had success at a level where in the spring she talked about having games where they were playing when it was freezing, and in New York, and I think we have an opportunity, but yet recruit at a high level where their RPI was in the top 25 as they ended this year and made postseason play, had a pitcher throw a perfect game, those kinds of things. And she's, I think she's a player's coach where she's going to hold them accountable, but then also drive them to be better. And I think that's exciting for the program, and I think we can build upon where we've been and even take it to higher heights.
Her Hofstra team darn near won the Columbia, South Carolina regional in the NCAA tournament, so you know she's got the mindset to compete in the Southeastern Conference. Summertime, basketball camps going on around here. I've spent a lot of time at summer basketball practices, so let's talk a little bit about men's basketball with the committee headed up by Condoleezza Rice. They've come out with some opinions and some thoughts on improving men's college basketball. What was your takeaway from that?
Just, you know, I wanted to hear more of what Conzo felt, and there are some good recommendations that came out of there. I think he has some opinions about how, you know, the summer recruiting and all of that could go. So I kind of defer to him. He's the expert in that world and has lived in that world a long time as an athlete and then as a coach in different locations. And so I think with his appointment, I forget the name of the committee he's on, but
he's on a couple of them.
He's on a couple of them, but he's going to have that opportunity to really have a good voice from Mizzou, and I think I obviously respect his opinion a lot.
Football season will be here before we know it. Media days are going on in Atlanta this year. I've been to that a couple of times. I mean, have you ever seen anything as crazy as SEC football kickoff and media days?
Yeah, it's our alums down in Birmingham. They told me, they go, nothing else matters, just football in this place, and I think it's great that we have that opportunity to showcase Missouri football at that level. And I think Barry and Terry and Drew, and I'm not sure who else. Trez Hall was going. So that should be those guys represent the team very, very well, and I'm excited about. It's coming really quick, and for me, it can't get here soon enough because I think it's going to be an exciting year.
What are your expectations for Mizzou football coming off the bowl game and the big comeback season last year?
Well, I think one is I don't think we'll start as slow as we did last year. I think that's a good expectation, and everyone should have that. And I think the difference is in the locker room with the team and the leaders on the team. You have the Terry Beckners and the Drew Locks and those kind of players that have been around. They have a pretty strong desire and taste in their mouth of wanting to be very, very successful this year, and so you can't predict where it is, but I think we'll be very exciting and compete to win each one of our games, and so I think you can't ask for anything more than that.
They really need a strong home crowd. I mean, there's really no better way to have a home field advantage and no better recruiting tool than a sold-out or a near sold-out stadium every Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's trending right now that Georgia, that's going to be a tough ticket to get, especially with the south end zone and reducing it about 10,000 for this coming year. So, so that's going to be a very exciting action-packed game that I think if you can't get it, then I would say, you know, get in early and get your tickets ahead of time because I think it's going to be a fun year. Season
starts September 1st. There are full season and mini plans available at mutigers.com. Hit that up. Reach out to the Tiger Scholarship Fund folks and they can help you out. Just to wrap up, you know, just in doing my job the last few weeks, I've been around here at basketball practice for men's and women's and seen athletes working hard. Football players are having voluntary workouts. I saw Jess Ewan out at Old Hawthorne getting some work in, chipping and putting out at that facility. It's got to warm your heart as the athletic director to see all these student athletes and coaches in the off season working so hard to try to improve upon that record-tying finish for the department from last year.
Yeah, I think one, you need a good break and get away, and I know Barry was able to do that and get away, and I think each of the coaches need to have that time, and I encourage staff to do the same. But because when you come back, it's all in, and we have a lot going on. We have a crane. I joke, you know, they borrowed it from downtown New York. It's big enough to fit in any skyscraper, and you know, and work downtown. But it's a lot going on in the south end zone that's people are gonna see that project rise up, and then smaller projects of locker rooms and renovations and things going on across the department. And so I'm excited. I really feel good about, you know, where we've been, but I think we have a really exciting year coming up, and I hope everyone feels the same way.
Next time we talk, it'll be here. Can you believe that? It's unbelievable. Summer's going away fast. I hope you find some time off, and we appreciate your time here today.
Thanks, Ben.
Jim Sterk, Mizzou's Director of Athletics, as we go one-on-one inside the huddle with Mizzou's AD.